What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's going on with NIO, Tesla, SPY, Nvda, and the QQQ. I'm going to talk about what's happening to the market going into tomorrow, what you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I break into all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very, very soon. Anyways, now let's break down what's happening to NIO and the markets. Looking at NIO, this thing was up 1.89% for the day. We have a daily bullish looking candlestick. Same thing on SPY. SPY is also still looking very strong, very bullish thus far, and it's holding up very, very nicely. But the real question is, will this thing just continue to push, or are we about to see something change from here? I'll give you guys an analysis of this in just a couple of minutes. But let's first talk about what's going to be affecting the markets. So I just want to mention that tomorrow is going to be Monday, February 12th. We have Bowman from the Fed giving a speech at 9:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then we have the 3-month and the 6-month bill auctions coming out, followed by Kashkari giving a speech at 1 p.m. So far, this could affect the market and how we end up moving. But I also want to remind you all that for Tuesday, this Tuesday that's coming up, we also have CPI coming out that's going to be very important. We'll see what all of this causes for the markets. Now, looking at the way the current Fed chart is looking, the hawk/dove chart, don't forget that Kashkari and Logan and Bowman tend to be the top 3 most hawkish Fed speakers. And we actually have Bowman and Kashkari giving speeches tomorrow. So we'll see what they end up saying. It could affect the market to some extent. Hoping it doesn't cause anything too crazy. The charts do look bullish. I think the market could push more, but just be a little bit careful at 1 p.m. when Kashkari starts his speech. Now, on top of this, for earnings, we have Monday.com coming out for Monday morning. And then after that, we just have a couple of others, very, very minor earnings, at least after the market closes. But Shopify is going to be a fun one for Tuesday, not to mention Coca-Cola, and a few more as time goes on. We also have like Coinbase, Roku, and DraftKings on Thursday, so it's going to be very interesting. We'll see how all of this goes. So far, earnings are not that crazy. As far as NIO goes, there are articles coming out saying that NIO has been sinking as the market was holding up. I want to bring this back up because of the fact that even though NIO was green on Friday, as soon as NIO has a little red day, we tend to see a lot of negative headlines coming out. And the reason I'm calling, the reason I'm calling this out is because the media is very biased. We tend to see lots of negative articles about NIO, even when NIO tends to do well. So I just want to give you a warning about this. The media loves to bash this company over and over and over again because a lot of retail have been buying and holding NIO, and they like to use this against retail. I believe and it doesn't matter where NIO is for the time being, whether it comes up or down. I think the long term is still very bright. I think NIO is going to make a very historical comeback. I think what's going to fuel this comeback is going to be their growth over time and a very, very nice improvements to their profitability. So I'm still a nice bull on NIO. I'm not losing faith whatsoever. The last thing that they're basically posting would be Happy Chinese New Year. I just want to remind you all and just kind of wish you about Chinese New Year. I hope you guys have a great New Year. I want the best for everyone out there. And on top of this, don't forget that NIO had about 26 million in volume. The average volume was about 65 million, so a little bit low volume has come out, but still it's holding up nicely and pushing on that low volume. Besides that, the price-price ratio is starting to bounce a bit. NIO is showing some strength. We also have a tendency of being green a little bit more often than usual, especially during this time frame. And on top of this, I just want to mention that on Mondays, we're green about 49% of the time. February's tend to be green about 52% of the time for NIO, so kind of like an average month. And then watch for volatility, around 11 a.m., 2 p.m., then during the last trading hour of the day. So what do I think is going to pound for NIO? What is my prediction? Let's go over this. So the daily looks bullish. It looks to me like we're going to be testing $6 again. On the daily, we're on a very, very nice uptrend. We also managed to close above the 4-hour 50 EMA. We also have this gap to fill around 6. So I think NIO is going to push higher towards $6 to 6.07. And we'll just have to watch the reaction from there because so far, it's holding up nicely as a nice kind of like inverse in the shoulder structure here. I think it's going to be testing $6. If it breaks that, we're going to be looking for a push towards 6.2. Why am I calling out 6.2? Because that's where the daily 20 EMA happens to be. So I think $6 is coming. If you break that, 6.2 is coming. I think it might push a little bit more. And I think that all this news about Chinese regulators kind of easing up on policy and gaining more support towards the others out there is actually helping this to some extent. As far as SPY goes, Well, the current trend is bullish. We're making higher highs and higher lows. This thing pushed into close. There's no signs rejecting just yet. If we lose 500 at the 5 EMA, we're going to be sinking back down towards 498. But so far, we're holding up nicely. And if we break above 501.65, watch 502. If we break that, 503 is our next target. So what do I think is going to happen? Well, we look bullish for now. We could actually push a little higher towards 503. There's no sign of this breaking down quite yet. So overall, the trend is still favoring the bulls. The bulls still have the edge. I think this could be testing the 502s relatively soon. How about Tesla? Well, Tesla has a tendency of kind of dropping then pumping every single day. I'll just show you what this looks like. So notice how for the last few days, right here, Tesla dropped and then pumped, dropped and pumped, dropped here and then pumped. It pumped when we opened, dropped, and then started to pump again. So we have tendencies of doing this. If you look at the 4-hour time frame, Tesla's looking very bullish right now. It does not look like it's done pumping. I think it's going to be essentially reaching this resistance around 195 to 196 up here. That's where we got this rejection before. So I think we're going to be looking for a drop tomorrow in Tesla towards the 192s. Could even drop a little bit lower and then bounce and push up towards 195 to 196. Tesla likely has some more upside coming, but watch resistance up there. For Apple has a nice accumulation that develops, but we're going to be watching this carefully as we have two possibilities. One could argue that Apple has kind of like a head and shoulders like structure, but at the same time, it's still holding up. If we lose 188, we're bearish. 186.5 is coming. If you break 190, we're going to turn bullish. Otherwise, we're kind of in the middle. We're kind of range bound right now. You could see Apple's been going back and forth. So watch which way it breaks and just be patient for now. For the triple Q, we're going to be watching 438. If we break that, 440 is our next target. But if we end up breaking down below 430, what is this, 436, if we lose that, we're going to be sinking towards 433. So I'm going to be watching that very, very carefully just to see how well it does. On the 4-hour time frame for Nvda, it still looks bullish for now. We had a nice cup and handle like breakout. If we keep pushing, watch 725. If we get above that, I think 730 is coming. Watch support at 714. We might actually retrace a little bit when we open, a little bit lower, and then we might bounce after that and make our way up to 725. So it still looks bullish. The charts are still looking bullish throughout the markets. That's it for Nvidia, Apple, the QQQ SPY, and Tesla. And finally for NIO, I think that NIO might actually try to push higher. Look for a little back test of 5.9 and then a bounce, and I think it's going to be pushing up towards this gap fill at 6. And if we break and hold above 6, 6.2 is coming for NIO. That is what I'm seeing on the chart. I think there's a very good chance NIO is going to push more. With that being said, have a great day, guys. Thank you all so much for listening. I want the best for everyone. Please enjoy the Super Bowl. I know it's going to be a very exciting day. So stay safe, do what you have to do, and I'll see you guys very soon tomorrow. Thank you. NIO to the moon alongside for the whole market as the long term is still very bright. And peace out.